Hi, I'm Tony, and 11 years ago I left the UK to travel around the world. I spent the first 2 years traveling around Europe and down through Africa on my motorbike. Then I spent a year in Australia before heading into Southeast Asia with my bicycle. Now that the coronavirus restrictions have calmed down, I'm traveling around South America. Hi guys, as I mentioned in last week's vlog, this week I've been to Machu Picchu. It was a really great experience, but one thing that I noticed is there's a really wide range of prices that people pay. Some services are super expensive, as there's a service to fit every budget. I'm traveling on an extremely limited budget, so I thought I'd share some tips on how you can visit Machu Picchu on a budget. In this video, I'm going to discuss getting your ticket, getting from Cusco to Aguas Calientes, getting up to the actual park, and then getting back down to Cusco again. The chapters in my video have got the titles for each of the sections. So to start off, where is Machu Picchu? As you can see here, it's northwest of Cusco, next to a small town called Aguas Calientes. The Machu Picchu ticket system was changed a few months ago. They limited the numbers and now you have to book your ticket in advance directly from the government. These tickets have to be booked in your own name and they cannot be transferred. Last minute tickets are still available to enter for the next day from offices in Cusco or in Aguas Calientes. However, you would be depending on the fact that they haven't already sold out. When you book online, there are 4 different tickets available. The first ticket is for Machu Picchu Circuit 1, 2, 3 and 4 and costs $45. The next ticket is for Circuit 4 and the Huayna Picchu Mountain. That's $60. The third ticket is Circuit 3 and Machu Picchu Mountain for $60. And the last ticket is for Circuit 4 and Machu Picchu Mountain, again $45. Each ticket will only get you access to certain areas of the park, and the famous view of Machu Picchu with the mountain peak behind it is only visible on circuits 1 and 2 inside the park. Personally, I think circuit number 2 is the best. It's got all the areas from circuit number 1 plus some extra access inside the old town of Machu Picchu. But you can see maps of all the different routes on the government website. I've put a link up in the corner now. So personally, I think the $45 ticket for circuit 1, 2, 3 and 4 of Machu Picchu is the best one to go for. The other 3 tickets only allow you access into the old town streets of Machu Picchu and then up one of the surrounding mountains, but I'm sure those mountains also have their own unique perspective looking back down onto the town. When you buy your ticket, you also need to choose a time slot to enter the park. We entered at 7 AM and I think that was perfect. The sunlight was still really soft from the sunrise and the clouds are blowing up over the mountains and over the top of the town. So once you've booked your ticket, now you actually have to get to Aguas Calientes. This can be tricky because there aren't actually any roads that go there, so your options are limited. Most people will start their trip from Cusco, so let's look at the transport options from there. There's a direct train from Cusco to Aguas Calientes, and that would cost you $100 one way. Or you could get a bus from Cusco to a town called Ollantaytambo for $6, and then you could get on the train from there to Aguas Calientes for just $50. So if you are going to take the train, then congratulations, you've now arrived in Aguas Calientes, but there are some other options still available. A lot of people actually hike all the way to Aguas Calientes. There are a lot of different hiking routes in the area, so there's a lot of different prices and routes involved, and that's just too complicated for this video, so I'm not going to go into the hiking option at this point. But whether you hike or you take a bus, which is the final option, then you're going to end up in the closest location to Aguas Calientes, which is a place called Hidroeléctrica. You can get a return ticket for a bus from Cusco to Hidroeléctrica for just $30, so that's $15 each way. But personally, I didn't take any of those options. I went by motorbike, which was a route from Urubamba over a mountain to Aguas Calientes, which involved like an hour of really cold mountain pass. really, if you are going to rent a motorbike, or if you have access to a motorbike or a vehicle, take some warm clothes if you're going to take that route, because it gets really cold. And if you are going to go by road, then once you get to a town called Santa Maria, you're going to be basically off-roading all the way to Hidroeléctrica. They are building a road at the moment, and it's been in progress for about a year, and there's still 2 years left on the project. Even though the road is under construction, you can still travel down it. It's just not very pleasant. So whether you hiked, took a bus, or took your own transport, you're now going to be ending up at the place called Hidroeléctrica. This is as far as the roads go, and from here you have two choices. You can take a train, which would be $33 one way, or you can hike, which is a hike of around 10 kilometers, and of course that's free. It really isn't a difficult hike, and it'll take you around 2 to 3 hours depending how quickly you walk. So to summarize our options of getting to Aguas Calientes, we have a train direct from Cusco for $100, or we could take the bus to Ollantaytambo and then take the train from there, which would be a total of $56. Or we could book a bus ticket and then take the train, which would cost us a total of $48. Or we can take the bus and then hike, which is just $15. As our ticket was for the 7 o'clock in the morning slot, we actually arrived in Aguas Calientes the day before, so that means we needed to pay for hotels and food while we were in the town. We managed to find a double hotel room for 70 soles, that's around $20 for 2 people. It was an extra 30 soles for breakfast the next morning. That brings it up to a total of 100 soles, which is $30 between the two of us. A lot of the restaurants in Aguas Calientes are just for tourists, so the prices could be anywhere from like 30, 40, 50 soles, which is quite expensive. But we managed to find quite a cheap restaurant just next to the bridge, just over here. And from here we could get a typical Peruvian menu meal for just 10 soles or $3. So just like most places in Peru, that included a starter of a bowl of soup, a second dish which you could choose from like 3 options, and then some iced tea to wash it down. So while you're actually in Aguas Calientes, your costs are probably going to be somewhere around $30 for a hotel room, that's for 2 people, and around $3 per meal if you really are tight on your budget. Machu Picchu itself is around 10 kilometers from Aguas Calientes. That's going up a really steep mountain road. The route is a steep, twisting road that climbs up the mountain. So again, you have a choice to make. You can either take a bus, which is $12 one way, or you could hike up the mountain, which is free. The hike could take you a while depending how fit you are, so if you've got an early morning ticket, it might be safer to take the bus. But if you really want to save money, you could wake up extra early and make sure that you can hike up the mountain in time. While waiting for the bus or waiting to actually enter the park, there will be tour guides that are coming up and asking you if you want a guide to go around with you. This is completely optional, obviously, and it's up to you whether you want to spend the money to do that. We actually decided not to take a guide, and I don't think we really missed out on too much. Once you actually enter the park, it's not like you're free to just roam around. The routes are marked and there are park rangers standing watching where you go, and they'll blow a whistle if you go the wrong way or if you do something that you're not supposed to do, so you are quite controlled all the way through. That being said, they're not rushing you, you can take your time, you just can't backtrack. The views are really amazing. You just need to be aware of the rules. The main ones to be aware of are there are no drones, no selfie sticks, no tripods, and no food allowed in the park. I'm not sure how busy the park used to get before the rule change, but while we were there, the numbers weren't bad at all. We could easily get pictures of everything that we wanted to take pictures of, and we could walk around without really feeling crowded at all. One thing to remember, make sure you take some insect repellent. There are sandflies all around Machu Picchu and they will bite you. They itch worse than mosquito bites and they can last for a long time. I read online that some people were still getting itches like a month afterwards. For me, it's been like a week now and I'm not really itching anymore, but I didn't get all that many bites. So after you've been in the park for a few hours, you now need to get back down the mountain to Aguas Calientes. So you have to make a choice. Are you going to take the bus for $12 or hike down the mountain for free? We hiked, and to be honest, it wasn't all that difficult, but it depends how fit you are, I guess, whether you want to hike all that distance. Now you're back to Aguas Calientes, you need to get back to Cusco. So either you can take the direct train for $100, the train to Ollantaytambo for $50, and then a bus, or you're going to need to get back to Hidroeléctrica. So again, you can take a train for $33 or hike the 10 kilometers for free. Machu Picchu is just one of those places that you just have to go to while you're in this part of the world. Even if your budget is limited, you can still go and do it. If you have the time and the energy, you can really save money. But if your time is limited or you don't have the energy for all that hiking, you might need to spend a little bit more money. One bonus of having your own transport is that you could stop at the hot springs that's in the town just next to Hidroeléctrica. That's the town of Santa Teresa. And the hot springs are really nice, especially after all that hiking. I hope that you find this information useful if you are going to be visiting Machu Picchu in the near future. It really is an amazing experience, and as you can see, you can still do it on a limited budget. Thank you so much for joining me on my trip so far. Please like, share and subscribe to stay up to date as I continue my journey through South America.